the last section of what we're going to talk about is one that should get some good discussion going, and that's innovation. I get to speak about this subject a fair amount, and there's usually somebody from industry on the panel, and they're talking about innovation, research and development. You know, the numbers that I've heard are that of every 9 drugs that are developed, 1 comes to market. So look how much money is spent, and look at how companies have to recoup that investment so that they can go ahead to innovate. Hematology, big issue big area for innovation. I think that 6 of the drugs approved in the last year by FDA were in fact for hematologic illnesses. So very relevant to our discussion today. So what do we say about this? What do we say about drug companies charging what people say, oh my God, can you believe they're charging that? Or that each drug seems to be priced higher than the others. What's the plus and minuses of that?
Gleevec cost $30,000 in 2000, and now it's $90,000 retail. Well, the cost of the price of tuition in Yale went up that much. The price of getting treated for CML at MD Anderson went up from $30,000 to $150,000. My point is that the cost, how we get the cost down is making sure that we get to market faster with more competition. But we have to look at what is driving down the total cost of care. If you look at treating blood cancers 10 years ago, fewer people were living, more people were in the hospital, more people are unemployed. Do you want to spend $100,000 on a drug that will keep you out of the hospital and employed, or use treatments that basically arrested your potential as a human being? We have to measure innovation in those terms, and in terms of addressing the cost issue, again, we have an outdated regulatory system. It was developed in the 19th century. That's how we tested whether limes treated scurvy. We're still using those technologies, and we need to change that. And this is where patients can and will be heard, I think, going forward.
Innovation is absolutely critical, especially for blood cancer patients. So, you know, you mentioned FDA approvals, and Tom, you spoke about CLL. We've had 4 new FDA approvals in the past 18 months just in chronic lymphocytic leukemia alone, and then another handful in multiple myeloma. And these are absolutely life-changing for our patients. I would say that LLS is also committed, though, to exploring new economic models. And I don't think it's one party's sacrifice to be had. I don't think this is just on manufacturers. I think that multiple stakeholders need to explore different ways to bring innovation to the marketplace. We have ideas, but haven't really been implemented in the cancer space on value-based pricing, value-based contracting. This morning I read that in Europe there's a gene therapy that is considering a pricing mechanism where they charge 50% of the cost up front and then smaller percentages, like an annuity, over every out year that a patient receives benefit. So I think that these are opportunities in the US for, again, all the stakeholders, payers, providers, patients, manufacturers, everyone, to get to the table and have skin in the game and have some level of compromise.
Amortize the cost along with the value. Yeah.
The problem is our system's not really set up to do that today.
Right.
So the average payer or insurance company has you on their books for about 3-4 years. And then you switch to something else because employers churn or things just change. And so it creates a short-termism in the viewpoint. Mm-hmm. I also think the data systems, while starting to change dramatically with electronic health records, are only starting now to get on that cusp. And so also talking between systems needs to get better. Mm-hmm. So you can track not just cost, but outcomes and quality. But I think the innovation thing is really extremely important, and alternative payment models, especially financing, is going to become increasingly important in hematology. Especially when you look at some of the things with CAR-Ts and alternative delivery system. It's going to be an exciting time, but also a challenging time. And so I would say that since 1998, my team found that over 249 drugs failed when they were pursuing hematologic malignancies. And so if we say the golden age is 6 approvals or for this, it's a stark contrast. And over that same, over the last decade, my team also analyzed that we found that the average population for addressable patients in a malignancy for hematology has gone down by about 200 to 300 patients. So it's half of what it used to be a decade ago, which means we're going after smaller pieces of the pie. So if you want to make money off a small piece of the pie, you need to make that some other way.